Hello, my name's Gary with HaveFunWithScience.com, and today's demonstration is on why a half motor works, or what are the principles involved in making this coil rotate. This motor is called a half motor. It is called a half motor because there is a standard bar magnet used to assist in its operation. Notice the little black rectangle located above the deck of cards and below the rapidly spinning electric coil. That's the bar magnet. Half motors only use battery power half the time. In contrast, a full motor does not have a bar magnet to assist in its operation. A full motor has a minimum of 2 electric coils, and they need power the entire time the motor is in operation. If you look at some instructions on building electric half motors, they instruct you to only peel off half the insulation on this very thin electrical wire. I thought that was too cumbersome. I wanted something easier. So on this design, all the insulation on the leads can be removed. The red wires are called brushes, and they supply power through the leads to the coil. So when the brushes are touching the leads, the coil is on. And when the leads are not touching the brushes, the coil is off. And you can look at the compass to see when there is power to the coil and when there is not. Power off, power on, power off, power on, power off, power on, power off, power on, power off, power on. The on-again, off-again nature of the half motor is what creates the rotation of the coil. When the coil is electrically charged, it becomes an electromagnet, and it turns to line up with the bar magnet. Just as this happens, the leads of the coil break connection with the brushes, and the coil turns off. But since the coil is still rotating, it keeps moving long enough for the leads to come in contact with the brushes again. And since the brushes are connected to the battery, power is once again supplied to the coil, and the coil begins to move toward the bar magnet again. This cycle repeats itself as long as power is supplied to the motor. There are all kinds of designs you can use to make a half motor. I picked this one because it's simple to build and sturdy enough to survive children. Also, if you want to, later on, you could convert the half motor into a full motor by bolting on another electromagnet to the metal bracket that supports the coil. Some designs call for using a styrofoam platform to make your half motor. That's way too flimsy for me, let alone a child. I prefer a nice sturdy piece of 2x4. You drill one hole in it for the brushes to go through. That keeps them in place. And then you can get the metal brackets at any hardware store. And the bar that the coil is on, that was cut from a metal hanger. And the more wraps around the coil, the stronger the electromagnet's going to be. To make the coil, you need to have 24 gauge magnetic wire, and you'll need to wind that at least 30 times in a circular fashion in order to make a coil that will have a magnetic field strong enough to rotate at a proper velocity. Also, don't forget to get fresh batteries, and the magnet wire can be purchased at Radio Shack.